Imagine a scenario of absolute silence over the strategic and dense waters of the Persian Gulf. The darkness of the night hides one of the most watched geopolitical chessboards on the planet. On the southern coast of Iran, Revolutionary Guard radar operators monitor the skies with redoubled attention. They trust their defense systems, their missile batteries pointed toward the horizon, and the vast surveillance network they have built over the years. They believe the sky is under control and that any threat daring to cross their borders will be detected in time for an overwhelming response. But the reality of modern warfare has changed drastically, and traditional defenses are about to face an adversary that defies the very laws of physics and detection. The promise of aerial combat in the 21st century was always based on overwhelming speed and raw firepower. However, the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II arrived to completely redefine this concept. It is not just a fighter that enters enemy airspace to engage in an open battle. It is a technological platform that materializes where it is least expected, operating in the digital shadows. What makes the scenario in the Persian Gulf so tense and terrifying for the Revolutionary Guard forces is the fact that this multi-role fighter was designed specifically to thrive in the most dangerous environment possible. We are talking about suppression of enemy air defenses missions, a doctrine known as SEAD, whose main objective is to hunt the hunters, paralyze the adversary's eyes, and dismantle their protection infrastructure before a single conventional alarm can sound. To understand the scale of the challenge that Iran faces on its southern coast, one must look closely at the engineering that makes the F-35 a true ghost to radars. When we think of a modern combat jet, heavy, loaded with fuel and weapons, the mental image is of a massive structure that reflects radio waves from miles away. But the F-35 breaks this logic. Its radar cross-section, the so-called RCS, is extremely low. In fact, to the screens of Iran's most advanced air defense systems, this giant fighter has an electromagnetic signature equivalent to the size of a simple golf ball. Try to imagine what it means for an air defense operator to try to track, in the middle of the vastness of the Persian Gulf, a tiny golf ball moving intelligently, bypassing detection zones, and silently approaching its most vital targets. This virtual invisibility gives the F-35 the unique ability to map the Iranian southern coast in detail without being disturbed. While local systems search for visible threats, the multi-role fighter has already crossed the invisible warning lines. It approaches the coastline stealthily, collecting textured terrain data, identifying the exact coordinates of the Revolutionary Guard's mobile missile launchers and coastal radars. The goal is not just to avoid combat, but rather to prepare the ground for a surgical and total neutralization of the defensive capabilities of that region. And if stealth is the F-35's protective shield, its speed and range are the tools that guarantee the perfect execution of the mission. Cruising the skies at a maximum speed of Mach 1.6, which is equivalent to approximately 1,960 kilometers per hour, it combines invisibility with a swiftness that drastically shortens any opponent's reaction time. The time an enemy system would take to process an anomaly on the screen is the time the fighter needs to deliver a fatal blow. Furthermore, the autonomy of this machine is impressive. The F-35 has a combat radius of about 1,239 kilometers without the need for any type of aerial refueling. This means it can take off from distant bases or aircraft carriers positioned in safe waters, penetrate deeply into the Persian Gulf theater of operations, fulfill its mission of destruction on the coast of Iran, and return to the safety of its base without needing to expose itself to the vulnerable process of aerial refueling near enemy territory. The true brain behind this survivability and attack capability resides in its key sensor suite, which operates in perfect harmony to give the pilot a situational awareness unprecedented in the history of aviation. The F-35 is equipped with the AN/AAQ-37 Distributed Aperture System, known as DAS, and the formidable AN/APG-81 AESA radar. Together, these systems function as omniscient eyes that see in all directions simultaneously. The DAS system uses a network of infrared cameras distributed around the airplane's fuselage, projecting a 360-degree view directly onto the visor of the pilot's helmet. If an Iranian missile is triggered, Or if a coastal battery turns on its guidance systems hundreds of kilometers away, the F-35 will detect the thermal and electromagnetic signature instantly. The pilot knows what is happening even before the enemy missile itself leaves the launch pad. It is the technological equivalent of seeing the future on the battlefield, allowing the fighter to dodge threats or neutralize targets before they become a real danger. To maintain this radar signature as low as a golf ball while carrying overwhelming destructive power, the F-35 uses a tactical configuration known as pure stealth mode. In previous generation fighters, bombs and missiles were carried under the wings, which created a huge reflection surface for enemy radars, ruining any attempt at invisibility. In the F-35, the weaponry is fully housed in internal bays, hidden inside the airplane's own aerodynamic structure. When it flies in this pure configuration, no metal line or right angle of the missiles is exposed to the outside. And what it carries in these hidden bays is devastating. 2,000-pound JDAM guided bombs, capable of piercing bunkers and pulverizing fortified radar installations with millimeter precision, as well as next-generation air-to-air missiles to ensure total superiority in case any interceptor fighter tries to approach. When we put all these pieces together, the scenario that takes shape in the Persian Gulf ceases to be a clash of balanced forces and becomes a demonstration of technological asymmetry. The F-35 does not need to fight long battles of attrition. It operates in the shadows, taking advantage of the fact that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard relies on radars that simply were not designed to track something so tiny and fast. The fighter approaches. The AN/A, AQ-37, and AN/APG-81 sensors do the complete mapping of the coast. The doors of the internal bays open for just a few seconds. The 2,000-pound JDAM bombs are released. And even before the shrapnel from the explosions hits the ground, the doors close and the F-35 disappears again into the darkness, flying at Mach 1.6 back to its destination. This outlook transforms the southern coast of Iran into an area of extreme vulnerability. The entire sense of security provided by heavy investments in missile batteries and coastal radars is called into question by a single aerial platform. It is not just about destroying physical targets. It is about breaking the backbone of the adversary's area denial strategy. The F-35 functions as a tool for the complete neutralization of defenses, a predator that gives no chance of reaction, leaving behind only the silence of destruction and the perplexity of an enemy that did not see the attack happen. With this ability to operate with impunity in the most contested environments in the world, this fighter is not just fulfilling routine missions in the Persian Gulf. It is actively rewriting the rules of modern warfare and showing that, in today's theater of operations, whoever dominates invisibility and information dominates the fate of the conflict. What do you think such an invisible and lethal air power means for global geopolitics? Leave your opinion in the comments, and let's continue this conversation about the giant backstage of defense.